Hi, I'm David Schenck. I'm an attorney and enrolled agent, enrolled to practice before the IRS, and I talk about tax issues, estate planning, and asset protection. Today we're going to talk about the IRS Offer-in-Compromise program. The Offer-in-Compromise program is just about the only way to pay less than the full amount of your tax debt. It's a lot like bankruptcy for taxes. And I often recommend that people who are considering bankruptcy because of tax debt try an offer-in-compromise first. One nice thing about an offer-in-compromise is that you end up with a better credit rating than you will after a bankruptcy. Bankruptcy analogy is a good one. Like in bankruptcy, with an offer-in-compromise, you're basically saying, I owe more than I can ever pay. And just like in bankruptcy, the law allows you to pay what you can and clear the debt. Also, like in bankruptcy, you need to make a very thorough and in-depth disclosure of all your financial information. Income, expenses, assets, liabilities, etc. And like in a bankruptcy, you're generally not going to walk away with a lot of assets. At least not a lot of equity in assets. This is the program that you see in those TV ads. You can settle your taxes for pennies on the dollar. Those guys seem like scams to me. And they probably are scams. Or at least they're very expensive. People I've talked to have spent $10,000 or more without a lot of great results. Someone has to pay for all those TV ads. But the program is very real. And you really can settle your tax debt for pennies on the dollar if you qualify and you file a good application. But just like bankruptcy isn't for everyone, an offer-in-compromise isn't for everyone. And the IRS rejects the majority of offer-in-compromise applications. But a little careful planning can help you ensure that your offer-in-compromise application has a good chance of success. And also, some careful pre-application planning may reduce substantially the amount that you eventually pay in your offer-in-compromise. So why are so many offer-in-compromise applications rejected? Well, there are several main reasons. One is some taxpayers aren't qualified for the program. For example, if you can afford, by liquidating assets, to pay off the entirety of your tax debt, you're probably not a good candidate for an offer-in-compromise. Also, the forms can be kind of complicated and confusing. And if you fill them out incorrectly, the IRS is going to reject the application, and they also will keep the application fees. And to make matters worse, the instructions for filling in the forms, I think, are incomplete and unclear. It's almost as if the IRS didn't want to let taxpayers settle their back tax debt for less than their full amount. Also, many times, taxpayers make an offer that, in the opinion of the IRS, is too low. They look at your income, they look at your assets, they say, you could pay more. And then finally, taxpayers frequently don't include the proper supporting documentation to prove their income and assets and expenses. The IRS isn't just going to take your word for these things. You must provide supporting documentation. One nice thing about an offer-in-compromise is that the IRS is going to stop all collection activities, all garnishments and levies, as soon as you file an offer, and while they're considering it, which sometimes takes a few months and can take as long as 2 years. And then they cannot levy any of your assets for 30 days after they've decided on your application. So they're not going to say, application denied, and oh, by the way, this afternoon we're seizing all of your bank accounts. They have to give you those 30 days. However, be aware that the statute of limitations, the 10-year statute of limitations during which taxes are collectible, is going to be suspended while they're considering your offer-in-compromise application. So they will make that 10-year period of time longer than 10 years. Disclaimer: this video and any accompanying text is for informational purposes only. The information provided does not and is not intended to constitute legal advice. No attorney-client or similar relationship is formed. If you require legal advice, please contact an attorney or other legal professional. This video covers a complex legal area in just a few minutes, and of necessity leaves out much of the detail. Don't make decisions based only on this video.